welcome back to my channel. You're watching Zazkia Creations, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. So I am first going to thank all of my viewers. I want to thank you if you are a first time or a returning viewer. I want to thank you for coming back and watching my videos, but I do strongly encourage you to go ahead and subscribe below because I'm sharing a lot of content on my sewing journey, and I don't want you to miss out on that information and that content. And I want you to be a part of my community of people that I'm sharing my sewing with, and we're learning from one another. So please consider subscribing below. If you've already subscribed, I want to thank you for subscribing. It is by you subscribing to my channel where I am being motivated to continue sharing content, and I just appreciate all of your support. So in today's video, I am going to be sharing with you all a new approach I like to take to my sewing. I am a slow sewer, and I pretty much like to take things for the most part step by step, you know, working on one garment at a time. And literally, I will pick a pattern, I will read the reviews, do the research, do the tutorial. I will go ahead and gather my notions, cut my patterns, sometimes trace a pattern, right? Cut the fabric, assemble, and sew. So I'm doing all of this for a single pattern. Okay, and sometimes it takes me at least 2 weeks to get a pattern done from start to finish. And this doesn't even factor in me having to trace a pattern, which I kind of stopped doing a while ago, but this is not taken into consideration if I need to trace a pattern. So I really want to be able to challenge myself with my spring makes between the months of April and May, and try to speed up the amount of time it takes me to get my garments done. I'm not going to rush the process. I'm just going to switch up how I'm doing things a little bit. Approach is going to be a bit of a challenge because I am very tend to be focused on one thing at a time when it comes to sewing. But again, I want to try to do something different and challenge myself to try to do some batch sewing to get all the things that I want to get done between now and May. A few patterns I want to work on between now and May, and how I plan to do this. I'm looking at my notes here so I don't forget any part of the process I'm sharing with you all today. I am going to select at least 2 patterns. They could be 2 commercial patterns, 2 DIY patterns, or a combination of the 2, but probably 2, maybe 3 during the month of April. And even into May. I'm going to go ahead and read the reviews of those patterns, the instructions, and watch tutorials that I can find online so I can visually see how these patterns are being constructed. This also includes me researching and testing out new sewing skills. There are quite a few patterns that I have selected for my spring sewing that require me to learn some new skills, things I have not done before. So I'm going to factor in time as well to practice those skills and learn how to get those things done before I go and start working on them as a part of my garment. I'm going to gather my notions as usual, but this time I am going to be cutting my patterns. I'm saying or trace. I doubt that I'll trace anything, but I'm going to be cutting out my patterns, and I'm going to be putting them in these storage bags I was able to purchase from Amazon. That way I have them all done and ready to go. So these are the storage bags here that I was able to get from Amazon, and I'll explain a little bit about these storage bags in a little bit. But once I get all my patterns selected, prepared, and cut out, I will put everything in a storage bag, set it to the side, and then when I'm ready to go ahead and start sewing, I can just grab the bag and start my construction. Having the pattern pieces ready to go, I think this is really going to help me get through my patterns a little quicker and be a lot more efficient with the time I have to sew. I think I told you guys before that most of my sewing, majority of my sewing takes place in the evenings and or the weekends, but I have a family, so sometimes it gets a little hard to get all of the things done I like to get done. But I was very motivated in the first quarter to level up my sewing a little bit for the springtime. So I'm going to try this new technique to see how it works out for me with my spring makes. Again, want to tell you all that I have to make sure that I factor in time to learn these new skills, which I'm I'm very excited to do. I know one of my patterns required me to do buttons, several of them. So buttons is something on my Make 9. One of the garments I want to do is an item for my husband. That's also part of my Make 9. And I've got some other things I want to get done. So I'm hoping that by me trying this semi-batch method, I guess it is, will help me get those things done. And if I fall short, okay, not a problem. At least I can say I gave it a try. But I do want to see how it works out for me. Also want to thank Cherie at Cherie Thomas, because she was able to send me the link to these really large storage bags. I got these from Amazon. They measure at about 16.9 by 12. They are waterproof, and I got a pack of 12. I ordered these from Amazon and they were delivered same day. So kudos to Amazon, and thank you, kudos to Cherie for being available and giving me the link to this product. So I do plan to store my items in these bags, set them to the side until I'm ready to work on them in April and May, and maybe even into June. I mean, spring technically goes into June, like early part of June, so there's some wiggle room there, but those are my plans. So I'm hoping that this new batch method works out for me. If you have done batch sewing, let me know what your experience has been with it. How has it worked for you? What are some techniques that you've used or things that you've done to make that process work for you as a part of your sewing? The one part I did not mention as a part of my plans is, or my process, is me actually washing my fabric. So typically when I buy fabric, I wash it right away. I don't even store it in my closet until it's clean. That way I don't have to remember if I washed it or not. You know, is it clean? Do I smell my laundry detergent? Do I smell my little pellets? Like, I just want to make sure that when I get the fabric and I'm ready to use it, I can just go ahead and start using it. So most times my fabric has already been cleaned, it's been washed, and it's just been stored away waiting to be used. I do have a couple of bolts in my closet here that have not been washed because I got so much at once, and I really didn't have the time to get it clean. But I know what that fabric is, so I'm okay with just making sure I get that done, you know, ahead of time if I decide to use those fabrics. So that's my plan to get my spring sewing done. I have not yet decided which of those patterns I want to work on just yet. I'm still trying to think that through a little bit. I do have one in mind, but I'm not 100% certain that that's going to be the one to work on just yet. But I do want to share with you all my process and what I plan to get done, and I will come back and let you know, of course, in a future video how that process will work for me. Is it something I want to continue with? Is it a no-go? But I will be sharing that with you. So I want to thank you for watching my video. And until we come together again, God bless.